Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Bob here, and I'm back after, when was it? I can't remember when the last video went up. I think it must have been last Friday actually, so not really that long ago. But I know it's a pain in the arse when you're sitting around waiting for Everquest videos. I know I'm exactly the same. I've last video I put up recorded on Thursday, and I wasn't working on Friday. I was hoping to do some recording, and I thought I had done some recording, but it essentially didn't come out. Fraps has this strange thing where it was my fault for not looking, but when you start recording, if you run out of hard drive space, it kind of doesn't tell you. So things kind of carry on and you think you're recording, but actually you're not. And I had a ton of Everquest videos, like the actual sort of raw files, which are huge, that I hadn't deleted. And that was a bit of a pain in the arse. And it was more of a pain in the arse because I was actually in Mistmore with Mugwort here doing some grouping, believe it or not. And I'm going to go back there and do it again, but you know, it's a real pain because I went there, I was kind of feeling a bit iffy about it. Wasn't quite sure what to expect, but I got there, got in a group, and it all went fine. Yeah, I think I kind of filled my role pretty well. It wasn't too, we were kind of at the pond, I think it's called. It wasn't too difficult. Let me just sort this Drizda tune singer out. Oh, for God's sake. This fight's going to go well. I've just been... Oh, here we go. I'm trying to find the most efficient ways of doing these kind of things. And what I've trying to do is router, walking, sleep, and then envenom breath. I suppose I could be doing the old root rot. Oh, for God's sake. The conjuration's really low as well, so envenom breath keeps fizzing. Yeah, I could do the old root rot, I suppose, but I kind of wanted to... melee for as quickly as long as I could, really. But I don't know if it's... why am I not hitting her? Oh, for God's sake, I turned it off. Yeah, but she has been giving me an absolute beating recently. I came here at level 26. Mistmore kind of took me from 24 to 26 really quickly. Actually, I was amazed. And I came here at 26, and I've kind of got to 27. These kind of bard. It's called the bard diet. This one, isn't it? If you're a baddie, and these are pretty good because I sat here yesterday, and I couldn't really play at my desk. I had loads of things to do, so I was kind of doing all that sort of stuff while I was playing. And yeah, and it's great just to come back actually I was coming back every sort of 10-15 minutes sometimes, but just over the course of the day, just coming back every sort of 6 minutes or 6 minutes 30 when she spawns, or whatever it may be. Yeah, it kind of got me through. I would probably say a level. I would say. Come on, Drizda, get down. Stop wagging your bum in my face. Oh, God damn it. Yeah, it's yeah. So this is the bards are a super duper camp if you can't sort of sit at your desk or wherever it is you're sitting and and sort of play consistently. It's a brilliant thing to do because you just keep coming back, and the XP moves pretty quickly. I'm getting sort of 3% XP a kill if we work that out. Say she spawns every 7 minutes. Over the course of an hour, I suppose I'm getting, I don't know, 25% XP, and that'll get you through level pretty comfortably. There's no work involved. Sometimes she gives me an absolute hammering. I'm sure I did this on bug rot. And it wasn't anywhere near as difficult. But maybe it was a bit higher. Mugwort's level 27. But maybe that's just the way melee is as you get higher. I've had a couple of fights where I don't know if she sort of spawns at the same level every time, but I guess maybe she's spawning at a higher level, and she's double hitting me for max damage, 3 turns in a row, and you think, holy smoke, what the hell's going on here? So maybe she just spawns at different levels, I'm guessing. So this is what Mugwort was doing. Yeah, but as I was saying, it was a real pain in the arse because I don't want to spend too much time on Mugwort because obviously he's just sitting here not doing a lot. But yeah, it was a real pain in the arse because I went to Mistmore, had a good time, and got in a group and everything went fine. The experience just flies along. It's crazy, really. I think what I'm going to do is take Mugwort and Berendire and just park them in Mistmore for a period of time, because the levelling is ridiculous. My plan with Mugwort was actually to go to the Treants at 29. Because I think I can make some. I'm still trying to get my fungi fund going, and I think at the Treants, I know they kind of drop upwards of like 100 gold per kill. So I was kind of thinking of moving them there, moving him there for a few levels at 29. But I'll see how I go. But yeah, but the experience in Mistmore was just amazing. It just flies along, you know, even with full group. I guess the Zem and the group XP bonus when there's a full group, yeah. I just couldn't believe it, really. I'm sitting here thinking, this is crazy. But it was good fun, you know. I mean, I was doing a bit of buffing. I didn't really need to do much slowing. I mean, there was a period of time where we had a high-level monk kind of pulling for us and then feigning when the mobs were running away. We had a druid sort of power leveling us for a period of time. But he ended up getting himself killed, unfortunately. But yeah, it's amazing how helpful people are. But the weird thing, and I have to say that if anyone from Pantheon Rising comes and watches my videos, when I was in Mistmore last week, I actually joined Pantheon Rising, the guild. But as you can see, I'm not in a guild anymore at the moment. Well, at the moment, anyway. I've had a really strange week, Everquest wise. After that Friday, I had a nightmare getting Mugwort back to the main continent, even though I didn't need to. You know, I kind of did. And yeah, I've had a strange week with regards to what I'm doing in game and how that's relating to, well, what I'm doing in game is essentially being affected by YouTube at the moment, because what I'll probably do, actually, I mean, Mugwort is actually not doing a lot. So what I'll do is I'll log him out, and yeah, and I'll talk a bit about my sort of EverQuesty life over the last week. So I'll camp Mugwort. I'll log in Berendire, actually. That's probably going to be a bit more interesting. I mean, he's not in Mistmore at the moment. but I think he's in a position to do a bit more than just sit on his backside waiting for a bard to spawn. So I'll be back shortly. Hello guys, welcome back. Well, listen, I'm just loaded up Berendire, and I'm heading to, you might notice that for every character my AI seems to be a bit different. My UI, I should say. It's because I've kind of been playing the game in different resolutions recently. So if I'm recording, I change the resolution, and every time you change the resolution, you have to set the UI again. Once you've set it, it's fine. But what I've noticed is for each character, it's a bit different. So I kind of need to try to make it a bit more uniform. So I'm not sort of I'm not lost, as it were, when I kind of load in a different character. Yeah, but as I was saying before, I was in Mistmore. I got in a guild, but I'm not in a guild at the moment. I've had a weird week with EverQuest. I've kind of gone through one of those weeks again where I've kind of been really struggling from an identity point of view, you know, with regards to what I want to do. It's such a pain in the arse. I know, relatively, you know, first world problems and all that. If all I've got to worry about is what's going on in EverQuest, well, you know, maybe I need to do something else. But you know what I mean. You know, you play a game, you invest a lot of time in it, and I'm investing a lot of time in it at the moment. It's all I'm playing, and it kind of that happened to me before. Ultima Online and EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot back in the day. I kind of went for a period of actually a few years where I didn't play any single player game. I didn't play anything but those MMOs, and I've actually found myself going back to play those games that I missed all those years ago again, you know, because I had heard they were so fantastic. But I just missed them because I all my time was invested in MMOs, and that's kind of how it is at the moment. Thinking about it now, sort of, you know, when that happened, I was kind of a bit bothered by it, because I think it's quite nice to kind of play different games and stuff. But at my age, I'm kind of not so bothered about it anymore. You know, I mean, Steam's brilliant, because what I'll just do is games I miss, I'll pick them up cheap in a Steam sale, play through them when I get around to it. You know, not too much of a problem. Yeah, but I've been kind of having a bit of an identity crisis again in EverQuest, and believe it or not, one of the reasons why I'm not in the guild currently is, and this. I even feel stupid saying it, I actually started another Troll Shaman, if you can believe it, and I transferred all of Mugwort stuff onto this Troll Shaman. And I you know, just I can't even say why. I think it might have just been a simple case of the model. But actually what I think it was, what I was kind of hinting at in the first part of the video, is that I've kind of recently I've been thinking about maybe I need to knock this YouTube thing on the head for a bit, because I was going to say particularly in Everquest, but obviously only in Everquest because that's all I'm playing. But in Everquest, what's been happening recently, particularly since the new year and sort of a few months before that, is that I'm not playing the game to enjoy it. You know, I think when you're recording on YouTube, you know, if it's not a business and you're not putting any ads up and that kind of thing, you kind of really need to be enjoying the game first and then worrying about, worrying about YouTube second. But what I found I was doing was that I was worrying about the YouTube content I was putting up. You know, I'm thinking, and that's kind of where the whole grouping thing comes into it. You know, because I was in this group and I enjoyed myself, but I wouldn't say I kind of enjoyed myself to a point where I really want to do it over just logging in and doing stuff myself. You know, it's and that has nothing to do with the group and stuff. I mean, the people I was with were brilliant, particularly the guys in Pantheon Rising. But yeah, so yeah, it's what I found myself doing is kind of recording content, but content that I feel that I should be putting on YouTube to make it feel as though I'm sort of making some sort of progress. And that's kind of taken over my playing habits to a point where I was kind of getting, I was kind of not enjoying the game as much. I need to go this way for the bridge, don't I? I'm heading to crag spiders, see if I can get a spot there, charming some crag spiders. Yeah, so that's kind of how things have been for quite a few months now. You know, I've been, instead of playing the game and enjoying it, and the recording is coming as just coming as part of that natural process. You know, I found myself logging in, thinking about what I'm going to be recording. Even when I'm not recording, you know, I've been thinking about what position do I need to get my characters into so I can record some content that makes it feel as though some progress is being made. Because I even though I'm, as I said, I try and do this for fun and not and when I first started doing it, not make it into a job where you're not getting paid. You still kind of get caught up in that sort of thing where you feel that I don't want to keep putting the same content up, and I want to put content up where people can see that some progress is being made. But I think that's really been interfering with my enjoyment of the game, as I said, to a point where everything I've been doing in game, even when I'm not recording videos for YouTube, has kind of been centered around when I'm next going to be recording. And so there's going to be some changes coming up with videos. I think probably I've kind of got to that point where I think if I'm going to carry on playing the game, I can't worry too much about what content I'm putting up. You know, if I'm putting up content from a zone that I've been in for, I've got 2 or 3 videos up from before. Well, I think unfortunately, guys, that's kind of the way it's going to be. I think going forward, what I want to do is to be enjoying the game first and foremost. And the sort of the videos come naturally from that. I'm kind of recording stuff where I think, this might be quite fun. And I think it was kind of like that at the start, but as time's gone on, I have found myself struggling more and more. And I think it's down to the fact that I'm, rather than sort of getting into the game and playing it, and the game comes first, and as I said, videos just become naturally from that. I'm kind of logging in, and the videos are sort of, foremost in my mind, really, where and the game has kind of taken a bit of a back seat. I think probably is the right thing to say. Cordelia Minster. Well, I can't do the bard diet really, because because I'll be in trouble. I need to go to Kenos to buy my spells. I actually just came from Kenos buying my latest spells. I think I got what did I get? I got a haste. I think I got quickness. I think it's quickness, which was pretty. Or whatever the next one is at 24. Some other bits and pieces. I got a high level charm, which I don't need to use it usually. I don't think. I got a new nuke, but I always find that on my old enchanter, when I got the level 24 nuke, I found it pretty inefficient until I'd kind of gained a couple of levels. So I probably won't use that early on. And you shouldn't. I mean, in a solo charming situation, I'd kind of hope you shouldn't really need to use your big nuke anyway. If things work out all right. They don't always, of course. Yeah. So that's it really. So I think that I don't think the actual content's going to change. I don't think that the sort of the pace of the content. I mean, I'm kind of doing 1 video a week at the moment. Actually, I'd like to try and do 2 if I can. But that's kind of how things are going to be. I mean, all I can say is that whatever content goes up, that's the content I'm doing. You know, it's as I said, I've kind of tried to. I think over the course of the last few months, tried to focus the. I've kind of been playing Everquest really for YouTube rather than sort of, you know, the other way around. Even the grouping thing, to be honest with you. I mean, as I said before, I mean, I enjoyed it in a group, but not to a point where I'd kind of, you know, I'd kind of go out my way to do that. But again, I think that, you know, I think anyone sort of watching my videos, that's just something that just yeah, just have to face really. I'm not a massive grouper. I do want to do it because I did quite enjoy the experience, but you know, it's not something that I'm probably going to go out of my way to do, particularly, you know. But I think that's the thing. I think it's and I think also I think playing the game geared around creating YouTube content also creates less interesting options, you know, because I've been feeling that, well, I need to do this and I need to do this, you know, and I need to make progress, so I'll go and do this so I can show that the character's made progress. And actually I think that kind of quite limits you. What I'd like to do is run around the world just doing stuff naturally that I would be doing, and when something interesting crops up, you know, or I'm in an interesting place, then do some recording. As I said, I mean, it shouldn't affect the frequency of the videos, but I think definitely I've sort of, you know, discovered that I do need to have a bit of a change, a bit of a focus on how I'm doing things, because I'm, as I said earlier on, that Everquest is the only game I'm playing, and that's, you know, at my age, it's not particularly I don't feel particularly negative about that, because I'm not in a rush to play any other games. I just play them as and when, you know, whereas before I kind of felt that, you know, I've missed all these games over these years just because I'm playing one game. But I mean, I'm still loving Everquest. I'm loving running around in the world. I think it's a real privilege to be able to play on a server where, you know, where we can kind of still do this. So yeah. So also from the guild point of view, again, I didn't, as I said, I mean, crazily, I created a new. shaman, and I think part of that as well was to do with the fact that at the time I was kind of thinking to myself, I just need a fresh start, you know, where I can kind of log in, and I'm just not worrying about the videos and stuff. Maybe I won't even do any, you know. That was kind of where that was coming from. Fresh start, do is kind of play a character just completely, you know, completely new. But then I thought to myself, it's just ridiculous, really. I mean, that'll be my third shaman that I've got to try and get to sort of level 24 before things get a bit interesting. Actually, I did get into level 10. You know, I actually did do some work on him, but I did think to myself, this is just stupid. You know, I just need to get Mugworthy stuff back and just get on with it, really. You know, just sort of just tailor, rather than kind of starting a new character and forgetting about YouTube, and you know, yeah, just doing it that way. You know, I think it's probably preferable for myself, and obviously for the channel, where I want to keep doing stuff, to just kind of go back, you know, carry on playing my old characters, but essentially, you know, change the way that I'm doing things, not force myself into a situation where where sort of YouTube is the be all and end all, and that's kind of why I'm playing the game. There are quite a lot of dead crag spiders around here. The thing I found with the crag spiders recently is that they're pretty camped. What I'll do is I'll stop this. I think I've kind of covered everything I was going to cover in this video, guys. Pretty much. I think the important thing, obviously, for us is just how videos are going to be done, and you know, I'm not going to sort of promise anything anymore with regards to what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be playing the game, and when a fun, you know, when something comes up where I've got something to say, or you know, I've got something interesting going on, or I discover something strange, or you know, or weird, or whatever, then that's when I'll do some recording. Right, what do I need to do? What have I got? I did get some. I need breeze, don't I? I did get some buffs from I think it must be from a cleric. Resolution, shield of words. It's still on me, but I didn't actually see the. I felt a bit bad actually because I must have been away from the keyboard when the cleric cast it on me. Normally I like to sort of trade a breeze for it, but I didn't really do that. I just wasn't aware that he was around. I had a strange thing as well on Mugwort yesterday while I was camping Drizda, is I killed it, I went away from the screen and I came back. I don't know how long he had been there, but there was let's have a look here. Oh, that's not too bad. I do prefer the troll model with the green eyes, actually. But that one's not too bad. Yeah, it was it was weird because I came back and I don't know if he did it purposely or if he even was aware that it had happened. But this 45th level enchanter had cast clarity on me. And he'd asked me for a spirit of wolf. I don't know how long he was standing there because I came back just as Drizzle was going to spawn again. But he positioned himself so his face basically took up the whole of my screen. So I had this kind of like derpy high elf face, just yeah, covering the whole screen. What the hell's going on here? I thought I'd been attacked by something, but yeah. But he got his spirit of wolf, so we were all yeah, we were all happy. I've got charm. What else do I need to do? I haven't actually played Berendire for about a week now, so I'm just trying to sort of work out again what I need. I've got Rune 2. That's another spell that I got. But the bloodstones are bloody expensive, so I'm kind of going to I'm going to carry on using Rune 1 at the moment because the cat's eye gates are pretty yeah, pretty cool. I can see. I mean, I have to say, yesterday it wasn't yesterday, was it? Whenever it was that I started the Troll Shaman, I can kind of see why I did, because I really like the troll model, you know, and I can see myself over the course of my Everquest life, you know, thinking to myself, well, I kind of wish that I kind of wish I had a troll character. I don't know. You know what will probably happen is you'll probably see me. I'll probably get Mugwort to level 41, feel a bit more confident about what I'm doing, and then I'll go back to Bugrot and yeah, and play him. But I think, I mean, I after sort of grouping the other day, I don't really have that sort of that fear of grouping that I had before. You know, it's I think someone said to me in a video that, you know, really you've got nothing to worry about. You know, you're sort of, I consider myself a you know, a good game player generally. I used to be a tester, you know, and the main sort of area that I tested in was mechanics and how games work and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's more of a social thing, but I think just the grouping in Mistmore has made me feel a lot more confident about grouping. So I don't, you know, there's certain things you can do in your role, and there are certain things that you can do sort of actively when you're in the group. And I think as long as you're doing those, you know, you're doing them well. Because I mean, you know, I mean, sort of being the group I was in, everyone was pretty awesome actually. A couple of occasions where I thought to myself, well, you know, well, actually, me who doesn't group, sort of thinking to myself, well, maybe that person could have done that there. That certainly would have made things a bit easier. But for the most part, we were getting helped by a monk and a druid, so it wasn't too bad. Crag spiders can be a pain in the arse charming, because if one of them gets dotted, it just makes the whole experiencing a bit. You have to time things a bit better. What I normally do is, depending on who's winning, so if my pet is winning by a mile, I'll pull him off when the other mob's low, and I'll mesmerise. And if he ticks like a 4 or 5% health increase, that means you know that the aggro's been wiped, or the damage has been wiped. So you can effectively, yeah, sort of nuke it down basically. You know, that was poor. It's because I'm talking, not taking any notice here. So what I think I'll probably do. Yeah, but if my pet gets down, like here... Oh, god damn it. Actually, my pet is... No, my pet's dotted, so it's going to die. God damn it. I left that too late. I didn't realise my pet was dotted. Yeah, that's a pain. I think what I'll do here... Yeah, that's what can happen with the crags. Because of the dot, you've got to be a bit careful. Because they do... they will sort of kill each other off if you don't time it quite right. But this fight's, you know... This fight's what it is, basically. There's someone pulling a crag there, over to that one. Okay. So there is someone else fighting the crags, what can you do? I think they're a popular spot at the moment. Maybe I should go and try sort of charming somewhere else. Actually, what I want to do is, although I've kind of said all the stuff about the grouping and whatnot, I do want to take Berendire 2. I do want to take him to Mistmore, basically. What I want to do is what I probably might do is actually take a character there and park them there, just for some grouping fun when I feel like it. The other thing as well, of course, is that I do need to get to a point soon where I'm I'm probably not playing two characters. You know, it's I don't think it's going to be particularly particularly sort of healthy going forward, or manageable really. You know, I'm just I think must be another enchanter there. Yeah, I think it just thingy just broke, as it does. I'm using there's a couple of things that people sort of pointed out on other videos. I mean, I've had a lot of new subscribers, so I don't know if I've explained this before. What I should probably explain is that the channel's a bit odd in the sense that I record and put stuff up, and that's kind of what I regard as kind of me being active on the channel. You know, that's kind of all I really have time to do, to be honest. So I don't kind of respond to stuff too much, but don't take, it's not a personal thing. Don't take it personally if I'm not responding to something on the channel that you've said. But what I do try and do, and I do try to pick up points sort of during videos and stuff. And someone mentioned about my Necro. I think on the previous video when I was playing with Necro, I think I might have said that I turned in bandit sashes for the Necro to get bronze weapons. I don't actually think I did that with my Necro. I think it was actually with Berendar. I think I kind of made a mistake there. So yeah, I didn't turn bandit sashes in with him. It was Berendar that I did that with. But then saying that, I mean, I think that I did do Nullfangs though, and I'm sure the Nullfang quest also affects your Blood Saber. Does it affect your Blood Saber faction as well? I'm not sure. Whether it does or not, I didn't have any problems with that. You know, it didn't. After I did all the fangs, I still went down to Kenos Aqueducts, Kenos Sewers, and did my you know, and bought my spells, and everyone else. The factions are all the same as they were before, so I didn't really have any problems with that at all. So I'm not sure if I'm not sure what happened there, but certainly the Null Fangs didn't affect my Necromancer in any way. But I didn't do the. I don't think I did the bandit thing with him. I think I took him straight out and did the. I got bloody poisoned one of them again. I think my pet's poisoned. I took him straight out and did the Greater Light Stones and stuff. So that's probably where I've made a mistake. But I certainly did Null Fangs with him anyway, which was yeah, pretty cool. I think so. Something else I laughed at. I checked him up, and I sort of knew. I kind of knew who he was. I'd heard the name, but I wasn't sure. But someone put up that I'm the Bob Ross of the Bob Ross of Everquest. I thought that was pretty awesome. So I had to have a quick look at who Bob Ross was, because I don't think he's probably as popular over here in the UK as he might have been in. I'm not sure if he's Canadian or American, so please forgive me, but I'm sure he's not as popular here as he probably is over in his home country. But yeah, I had a quick look, and yeah, but I do remember him, and I do remember watching some of his art programs, Bob Ross, and I guess you could say that I'm the Bob Ross of EverQuest. Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. I've got no problems with that at all. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think a couple of people have asked about UI, and it's the Duxy UI, which you can get from the Project 1999 servers. Yeah, so, and I think that's it probably. I'm not sure if there's anything else to go on about, but I hope I've kind of covered where I'm trying to come from a video point of view, YouTube point of view. It's just it has been interfering greatly with my enjoyment of the game, but my own fault really. You know, I think if you're going into a game and the thing that you're concerned about is not necessarily your enjoyment of the game, but what you're going to be doing on the next video, you know, where the next video is coming from and what the content's going to be. Well, I suppose you only got yourself to blame really, but that's how I'm going to be approaching things in the future. But also, I did want to say, as I think I've been trying to say about the Pantheon Rising thing, is that I kind of, as I said, I took Muggle out of the guild. If any of you guys are watching, you know, I mean, you're a great bunch of people in that group. I would probably say some of the nicest, you know, one of the nicest groups of people that I've ever met, and hopefully in the future I can get back into the guild if I haven't burnt my bridges. But yeah, but you guys were pretty awesome, you know, and I think that's a rare thing. I'm not sure how it's happened, and I'm not sure how it. Or maybe it's not a rare thing. Maybe that's how it is generally. You know, you kind of, because you read the forums, you kind of get the impression that all people in all guilds are just poison. You know, and it was great to find a group of people. I think there's 3 or 4 people in the group in the end from the guild, just to find a group of people, and where they all just seem, they're all just really friendly and nice. You know, it was a pretty awesome thing. But yeah, I mean, I certainly didn't leave the guild for anything other than the fact that I'd kind of had this strange week, and I was going to delete Mugwort, so I took him out of the guild and I transferred his stuff. And I decided not to do that. But it also, I mean, it's strange. Also, it also comes from the whole thing where I'm kind of again, it's nothing against the guild. You know, the guild was super duper, but I think again it kind of comes from this thing where I'm grouping and guilding and that kind of thing doesn't really bother me. You know, it's nice, but I'm like it in real life. I don't need company. I don't require company in a game, you know, in Everquest to enjoy it, and that's probably where it comes from. Really, I know that some people do prefer to be in a group, and they do prefer company and other people to do things with. But I've kind of never needed that, and that's probably why I've soloed quite a lot of my my sort of MMO life. Really, I think that's probably one of the reasons. But as I said, I mean, I just want to say that Pantheon Rising, if you get a chance to be in the guild, it's not particularly hardcore. I think some of their kind of highest level characters are level 30 and stuff. So at the moment, I don't think that's. Oh God, I don't want to pull two here. Oh God damn it! Oh. I'll get him to carry on chasing me. Yeah, I certainly don't want to put anyone off the guild. You know, I kind of took Muggle out for my own reasons, basically. But yeah, but they were a super group of people, and if an option comes up to be in the guild, I would certainly go for it. I don't think they didn't seem to be. They're not particularly hardcore at the moment. I'm assuming that, like all guilds, you know, they'll want to be raiding at some point, but I don't think that was the focal at the moment. But yeah, but they were just such a lovely group of people. If the option comes to join them, I would certainly seriously look into that. Can we back up here? Let's get this crag spider coming back here. I should probably taper enchantment to remove the root. That might be the most sensible thing. This is what I love about the enchanter. You know, I think I said it before that I do really, you know, I do realistic, you know, generally overall I prefer the shamanistic kind of thing, and I really like Mugwort as a character and as a model, but it's difficult to ignore the enchanter stuff. You know, they've just got a spell for all occasions. Really, it's pretty awesome. And it's weird actually, because I was about to say it's becoming a bit of a problem. I mean, I suppose it can never really be a problem apart from the person playing them, but I've kind of heard whispers that there are kind of an awful lot of enchanters at the moment, probably slightly down to a couple of the you know, sort of like, I think you got Tekmos and sort of Splorf. I think one of them started off the solo artist challenge thing, and I guess people have seen some of the crazy stuff that they can do and think that we can all do that, you know, when we probably can't. Yeah, so it's been a bit weird on that front. I was kind of watching a bit of an enchanter stream, and he was commenting on the fact that he'd sort of been having trouble finding groups and stuff. Oh God, the bloody route's broken, isn't it? So I don't particularly know if it is going to be a problem. There does seem to be quite a lot of enchanters, low-level enchanters, sort of around the sort of 20s, 30s, that kind of thing. I mean, I've noticed it, and I don't group much, but I've heard a couple of enchanters say they're really having trouble finding groups because there's so many enchanters about. Now, for this guy, I think I'm just going to dot him down. Essentially, he'll probably break root and stuff, but there you go. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know if at the moment we're all setting ourselves up for a bit of an enchanter explosion. When we all sort of get up to a particular level, but we'll have to let's see how we go. Anyway, guys, I'll end this video. I've been waffling on a lot. This is probably going to be a longer video than normal, but just wanted to update you on what's going on and just kind of let you know how things will be sort of going along in the future. Hope it's all okay, and I'll speak to you again soon.